I thought it might.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the administration and faculty of SAR High School.
When you're standing there, about to walk, that's when you wave.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the graduating class of 2017.
the 11th graduation ceremony of SAR High School. Whether the oldest in the family, the youngest, the only child, or a twin, we are thrilled to pay tribute to this class of 2017, totaling 120 students. This group of students has dazzled us with their talents and their accomplishments. They are athletes, singers, dancers, musicians, actors, filmmakers, cooks, bakers, artists, activists, investigative reporters, fashion designers, entrepreneurs, academics, social and future medical law and business professionals. And they have been described by their teachers and administrators as collaborative, resourceful, enterprising, entertaining, intellectually engaged, community-minded, vested-oriented, fun-loving, compassionate, and kind. Individually and as a grade, they are a spectacular group of young people. We acknowledge the presence here tonight of rabbis and community leaders, including Rabbi Stephen Exler, Rabbi Reuven Fink, Rabbi Yitzi Ganach, Rabbi Shmuel Greenberg, Rabbi Barry Dove Katz, proud parent of Ariel, who is graduating tonight, Rosh Kehillah Dina Nyman, Rav Tomer Ronen, proud parent of Adi Ronen, and Rabbi Weiss, as well as acknowledge the community rabbis who are on our staff, Rabbi Akiva Bloch, Rabbi Shmuel Hain, and Rabbi Menachem Kovgad. As we transition into an appreciation of this special moment in time, please disconnect yourself from your electronic devices by turning them off, and then rise for the singing of Hatikvah, followed by the Star-Spangled Banner.
Thank you.
inception of SAR High School 16 years ago, Rabbi Julie Hartstock has been its principal. Under his extraordinary leadership, Rabbi Hartstock has inspired our faculty and students to live SAR's mission. He seeks to partner with parents and the community in the pursuit of raising modern Orthodox teenagers who are deeply rooted in Torah study, committed to religious growth and the performance of mitzvot, and equipped to engage in the grand conversation between Torah and the world. Recently, the outside world recognized Rabbi Hartstock's visionary leadership as well. He has been awarded the 2017 Covenant Award for Excellence in Jewish Education. Please join me in appreciating Rabbi Hartstock as he comes to the stage and will speak to the rest.
Erev Tov, good evening, and thank you to all of you for coming. I would like to begin by expressing gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for granting us the opportunity to reach this milestone and to celebrate together the achievements of the SAR class of 2017, Tavshin Ayin Zayin. Tonight, we celebrate our graduates, and it is important to say out loud that we also celebrate the amazing teachers and staff of SAR who have taught our graduates. But I will turn first to you, our graduates. My dear graduates, it is my honor to offer you Divrei Bracha tonight. This week, we read the story of the Meraglim, of the spies entering the land of Canaan. There are many explanations for what went wrong in that Meraglim story. My personal favorite is that of the Sfat Emet. Here's how he tells it. The Jewish people had been enslaved for hundreds of years. Then God performed miracles, freed them from Egypt, and provided them with food and protection. And now it was time for them to enter the land of Canaan. That required them to rely less on the miraculous and more on their hard work and sacrifice. They had never done that before, and they were hesitant, perhaps frightened. And so God determined that he needed to wait for the next generation, for the younger generation, to take on the challenge and establish a Jewish society built on Torah and mitzvot in the land of Canaan. The story teaches of the transition from a more dependent generation to a more independent, yet equally inspired generation. In a certain respect, this is precisely where you stand today. Over the course of years, you have been provided for in so many ways by your parents, your family, and your community. And over these years, you have been learning how to do it on your own, how to take on the challenge of building the Jewish community and the broader society for the next generation. There are two things that I have seen in your grade that make me feel quite optimistic about you in particular and the next generation. Here's the first. Building community and society is difficult work. You know that firsthand. Your grade has been shaped by discourse, by different visions for America, for Israel, for halakha, and for modern orthodoxy. You have discussed this endlessly, sometimes calmly and in a dignified manner, and sometimes less so. But you have certainly been engaged, and you have had to wrestle intellectually and passionately with people who think differently than you do. That is a capacity that you must continue to learn and to cultivate, both the engagement and the ability to talk respectfully with those with whom you disagree. And second, I've also seen your creative capacity, and I felt it very strongly over these recent weeks during senior exploration. The kinds of projects I saw and heard about, your passion and investment in such a wide range of creative projects, it was really a beautiful thing to behold. From creating an instrument, to learning Safrut, to meeting with every single classmate to explore their religious growth through high school, to beekeeping and cheese making, to designing an exercise machine, stop motion filmmaking. I'm sorry that I can't give each of you an opportunity to cheer for your kid, but it was a really remarkable collection of projects. You are a talented and passionate group, and you do have the capacity to have a deep impact on your world, Jewish and more broadly, in the United States and in Israel. My bracha to you as you graduate from high school, may you live your lives as men and women on a mission, constantly growing and reaching, shaping and enriching, deepening your own lives and the lives of those around you through the language and practice of the Jewish people, through Torah and mitzvot, and may the life missions that you undertake inspire the life missions of future generations. May you keep Torah, mitzvot, Am Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael in the front of your minds at all times. May you use your talents and strengths to make the world a better place. And may you continuously work hard to develop yourselves as thoughtful, reflective B'nai and B'not Torah, confident in taking on the challenges of the modern world, and committed to strengthening the Jewish people. Mazal Tov, I am so very proud of you. Before I step down, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to the remarkable teachers of SAR High School. Your hard work and dedication to the kids and to the mission of SAR make this place what it is. And I say it, and it's true that I cut and paste this line every year from the previous year to the next year, because the line is always true. When people come over to tell me what they think is really great about the school, the first thing that they will always say is the faculty that you have, their commitment to kids and the passion for what they teach is just absolutely remarkable. You are amazing. You really are. I thank you very much. To my administrative colleagues, Dr. Mark Shinar, Ms. Nancy Laria, Ms. Lisa Schlaff, to Dr. Rivka Schwartz, Rabbi Alan Ubin, thank you for everything. It is a gift to work with smart, caring, reflective people who are really interested in listening to and learning from each other. It is what makes SAR a special place to come to each and every day. Rabbi Ubin, your dedication, hard work, and menschlichkeit are unparalleled. We will miss you, and we wish you the very best in your new administrative position. And to Dr. Shinar, can't redo the dinner, but it has been a joy working with you over the past 8 years. You have given so much to SAR High School. We are so proud of your aliyah and of the fascinating educational project that you are undertaking. It does not make us less sad to see you go, but we are very proud, and we wish you, Lauren, and the kids the very, very best in every way. Thank you for everything. There are a number of people who have made the events of this evening possible. I'd like to say thank you to Gila Kolb, to Heidi Greenbaum and Heidi Kane, and to Deborah May, to Nava Cohn, Rena Rosen, Michelle Hoke, Rabbi Bloom, and the tech team. I want to thank our pair and co-chairs, Jennifer Ash Haberman and Bina Daba, and thank you to Nick Fada and his tremendous staff. I also want to express my hakarat tov to what is now the 72%, I believe, of the graduating parents of graduates who have contributed towards a gift to SAR in honor of our graduates. We have so far raised, we haven't earned it, we've so far raised over $25,000, and we're looking to build on that. We thank you all very much. And finally, to family and friends, thank you for being here. Mazal tov, and may you have much, much nachat from your families for many years to come. And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce the student representatives of the class of 2017, Tafshin Ayin Zayin. In the spring of the senior year, the seniors nominate those who they feel would best represent them at their graduation. The senior grade then chooses 2 students from the nominees to speak at graduation on their behalf. It is my pleasure to introduce Leo Weiner, who will deliver his address in English, followed by Batya Busbib, who will speak in Hebrew. Leo, come on up.
Long walk. Good evening, everyone. Last year, as juniors, we studied Sefer Dvarim. We often contrasted the stories Moshe told with the way they were recorded earlier in the Torah, especially in Shmot and Bamidbar. Modern Israeli thinker and author Micha Goodman, in his book on Devarim Hanaum HaAcharon Shel Moshe, Moshe's final address, suggests Moshe had an important agenda. He sought to minimize and to de-emphasize the importance of a single leader. He consistently retells stories in ways that omit his role and the role of other key individuals to prepare the people for a critical transition from desert life, where they were entirely dependent on him, to a life in Israel where they would need to be self-sufficient. So he retells stories in a way that highlights collaboration. Moshe knew they would need to work together to succeed in Israel, and so he pushes them in that direction. While preparing to write this speech, I spent a lot of time thinking about our grade and what makes us special. What message I would like to impart to you about us. I remembered what we learned junior year. In that spirit, I would like to tell you the story of how I wrote this speech and to highlight that I did not write it alone. It is through the joint work of many SAR seniors and teachers that this all came to be. I wanted to express myself through stories, so I sat down in front of my computer, opened a blank Word document, put my fingers on the keyboard, and nothing. I figured I just needed a little more time, so I gave myself a couple days, and still nothing. I spoke to Batya a few days later and asked her if she had made any progress with her speech, which you'll hear shortly and probably like a lot better than mine. She was already done and had begun translating it into Hebrew. Batya, in thanks for your contributions to my speech, in addition to writing your own brilliant speech, I award you this copy of Did You Know, signed by myself. You might be thinking that after she told me that, I really hustled and got to work, but it would be a couple more weeks before I actually started writing anything. So I did what I've been doing for 4 years in SAR. I asked for help. During one of the last weeks of classes, I sat down in the student lounge with Amichai Fait and Joey McGilliner, and we put together a list of every school trip and major grade event that we could remember. They played NBA 2K on a very large screen while I took notes on everything they said. Joey, for your efforts in helping me with this speech, I give you this Nintendo Wii, signed by myself. And Amichai, I give you this Mario and Sonic at the Beijing Olympic Games game. Enjoy. Anyway, I tried writing with this list, but still just couldn't get it right. About a month ago, a day after completing my final AP exam, my good friend and neighbor, Jesse Blumenfeld, stopped by my house to help me write. We spoke for 10 minutes about what I wanted my speech to look like. That's when we came up with a plan to reflect on our high school experience through individual stories. You may be thinking, well, that's still pretty much nothing. And you'd be right. But it pointed me in the right direction, which I desperately needed. Jesse Blumenfeld, I award you with this shirt that I stole from you in 10th grade. That day, I also posted a request in our grade Facebook group for stories that reflected our SAR experience. I'd hoped for 10 responses. I got 3. Sarah Muharremi, Max Gross, and Tamara Peterman, thank you so much for your responses. I award each of you with this early bird special coupon to Grunbaum's Bakery. In the following weeks, I texted individual classmates asking if they had a story, and when singled out, many did. Esti Billig described the life-changing event that was Mr. Yoram Rashwab's sophomore Gemara course. Amram Zaychik recalled the beauty of our Color War Amazing Race. Dina Rossman reminded me of our surprise rollerblading trip to New Jersey. Max Gross told me about a few kids who were not exactly friends, just taking a period to discuss the ethical connotations of events that transpire on the international dateline. Rebecca Hyman recalled every visit she received from classmates and teachers alike when she injured her ACL. Sarah Muharremi's story was about the topic of this speech, collaboration. It was tech week for the play, and she had no time to prepare for her math test. But all week, countless students in our grade offered their assistance. She received her highest score of the year. I recorded every one of these stories, but I was still unsure what to do with them. That brings us to June 1st, just 12 days ago. While I'd already written a boring intro, the actual speech was hardly on my mind. Senior prank would transpire early the next morning, and Simon Kuflick was staying at my house. I can't believe graduation is in less than 2 weeks, he said. How's your speech going, by the way? I award Simon Kuflick with this bottle of melatonin for the hours I lay awake after hearing his helpful question. The next day, I got to work. I organized all the responses I'd received and followed up with everyone who said they would get back to me and just never did. I reached out to a lot more people. I started writing. That day, I came up with this idea for my speech to describe how I wrote my speech. I wrote a page using this idea and sent it to Mr. Fleischer before Shabbos, and he cautiously approved. On Sunday, I didn't work on my speech. Monday morning, I received the following email from Dr. Shinar. Hi, Leo. With graduation just around the corner, I'm hoping to see a copy of your speech before we go off the senior trip. Can you please send me what you have today? I look forward to seeing what you have. ASAP. Thanks, Dr. Shinar. At this point, I had completed half a page of what would become my 4-page first draft. I wrote back, Hi, Dr. Shinar. I'll send you a complete draft this evening. That email was my final wake-up call. As you all know from our many history research papers, writing an entire draft in one day can be pretty daunting. I worked on it all day. Dr. Shinar, I award you with this stress ball for all the stress you caused me that day. But in the end, all the stress and uncertainty about this speech was worth it. How often do we get a chance to sit down and actually reflect about such an important time in our lives? I'm so grateful to have been chosen by my friends to share my thoughts with you this evening, but in truth, these aren't just my thoughts. I came to this idea with the support of every person I've mentioned, and even more that I haven't. One thing SAR has taught me and my classmates is that we don't need to do everything ourselves, and work actually turns out better when we work in Chavruta. Sometimes. If I could, I would give an award to every student on this stage, but alas, my humble burlap sack is not big enough. This is what makes us a real community of learners, and it's comforting to know that as difficult as it is for us to leave SAR today, our friends and teachers are always an email or a text away, ready to lend encouragement and a hand. Together, our stories have made us the people we are now, and we should be pretty proud of that. If I've learned anything these past 4 years, it's that high school, it's not about any of us. It's about all of us. Thank you. Thanks so much. Bye, you boosted.
Erev Tov. Vayomer Elokim, Yehi Or, Vayihi Or. Vayivdel Elokim bein ha'or ubein ha'choshech. Arba shanim avru, hakol hayam metushtash. Lo haynu bituchim la'an lalechet o ma la'asot. Gishashnu be tohu vavohu shal kita tet. Aval, lo mashane me'ayin banu, nitzutzot afu ve'or notzar. Shvuot v'chodashim avru, v'hifachnu l'kfutza megubeshet bebuletet, she'itchalnu l'lmod u'lenayet et darkenu, v'ma shaya olam chashuch u'baltim mezuha. V'anu, hakita sh'alpayim v'shva'esrei, histakalnu achad al hasheni, v'yidanu ki tov. Vayas Elokim et harakia, vayivdel ben hamayim asher mitachat l'rakia, uben hamayim asher mi'al harakia. Avodah zo yatzara gvulot ba'olam, shelo hayam mefutach legamrei. V'gam anachnu, b'shalev mukdam zeh, yatzarnu gvulot. Bizman she'individualiyut shelanu adayin lo hitpateach, v'hakishronot shelanu adayin lo hitgalu. Anachnu adayin bisasnu et hakita shelanu, kikihila shel yechidim shetivla yachad, tilmod v'titavteach b'yachad, b'meshach arba shanim habaot. Vayomer Elokim, tidaseh haaretz, desa esev mazria, zera eitz pri oseh pri lemino, asher zaro, bo al haaretz. Anachnu sugim shel eitzimu prachim. Kasher anachnu hirgashnu yoter b'noach echanim hashniya, zihidnu v'kibidnu et hamagyon shelanu. Banu yachad me'ein tzipor kihilot, liot hakita shalpayim v'shva'esrei. Eretz lo yuchola l'sagseg rakim sug echad shel eitzim, v'gam anu lo yachonu l'sagseg lelo kulam. Kulam me'ivi'im rayono v'perspektativio chadashot, v'hakita shelanu lo tiyeh shlema v'lo mashi hayom, afilu im hayachaser rak echad mihem. Ubasof hayom hazeh, histakalnu al hamagyon ha'ashir shel kitatenu, ve'amarnu vayihi tov. Vayomer Elokim, yihi me'orot barakia hashamayim, להבדל בין היום ובין הלילה, והיו לאותות ולמועדים ולימים ושנים. האור שנברא ביום ראשון לא היה מספיק. אז עוד אור נברא, אבל עכשיו בצורה של זמן. בבית ספר התיכון הבינו שהזמן פה עלול להרגיש כמו 4 שנים ארוכות. הוא למעשה קצר. אישית, בשבילי, ככל שחלף הזמן, הבנתי את החשיבות שלי לקבל את המרב מכל מה ש-SAR נתן לי ב4 השנים שעברו. בשנתיים הראשונות שלי פה הייתי יותר שקטה. בעיקר נשארתי עם החברים הקרובים שלי ולא הלכתי או רציתי לבנות מערכות יחסים חדשות. בערך באמצע הדרך הבנתי שהזמן שלי ב-SAR כבר בחצי הדרך, והזמן להרחיב האופקים שלי, השמיים והארץ שלי, הוא עכשיו. מודעת זו לזמן החולף אפשר לנו, אני מאמינה, לדבר יותר אחד עם השני, לנצל באופן מלא את כל המסביב שלנו. המורים הנפלאים שלנו, החוגים שאחורי שיעורי הבית ספר, וכל התוכניות שבתוך הבית ספר. אנחנו הרגשנו שהזמן עובר והבינו שגם על זה יש לומר ויהי טוב. ויאמר אלוקים, ישרצו המים, שרת נפש חיה, ועוף יעופף על הארץ על פני רקיע השמיים. יצורים אלה נבראו כדי למלא את הפערים בין השמיים והארץ. אנחנו מילאנו את הפערים בינינו, בזמנים של ויכוח סוער ומצוקה. ביום שני נעשינו מועדים למה שהפריד בינינו. אחר כך גישרנו על הפערים האלו עם דגים וציפורים שמאליים, עם ידע ותובנות חיים. וזה הרשה לנו ליצור קשרים, להכיר אחד את השני ברמות עמוקות ואישיות ביותר. וזה בטח ויהי טוב. ויעש אלוקים את חיית הארץ למינה, ויברא אלוקים את האדם בצלמו, בצלם אלוקים ברא אותו. אחרי שנים של לימוד ביחד, התחלנו לזהות ואפילו לעודד את כל הפרספקטיביות והכישרונות שלנו. הגענו למקום שבה האישיות האמיתית שלנו יכולה לזרוח, והבינו שכיבוד ההבדלים בינינו יכול לחבר אותנו יותר. בכיתה שלנו יש ספורטאים מתאימים, מוזיקאים מוכשרים, אומנים טובים ותלמידי תורה נלהבים. היכולת שלנו להתמודד אחד עם השני ולדון על נושאים שונים באמת עשה אותנו למי שכולנו היום. האינדיבידואליות שלנו היא מה שמגדיר את הקהילה. ויברך אלוקים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוקים לעשות. במשך 4 השנים האחרונות לימדנו, גדלנו, התווכחנו וצחקנו. התחלנו כיתה ואז הפכנו לקהילה ובסוף משפחה. אין אף משפחה מושלמת, אבל SAR נתן לנו את הכלים והחוכמה להמשיך ללמוד ולגדול. ובסוף, כדי להבין את סוגי האנשים, אבל ביותר דיוק וחשוב, סוגי היהודים שאנחנו רוצים להיות בשנים הבאות. שבת היא זמן לומר תודה, יום להראות את ההערכה שלנו לסובבים אותנו, על שנתנו לנו אהבה, ידידות ועידוד. היום, הסיום שלנו הוא שבת של המסע שלנו על 4 שנים יחד. לרב הרקסרק ולשאר הצוות הנהלי, תודה על טיפוח סביבה שבה שיחות, רדיפת התלהבות ולימוד מעודדים. אני חושבת שאפשר לומר בשם הכיתה שאנחנו מעריכים בלב שלם הכישורים ש-SAR נתן לנו כגישה לעולם ולטפח את המסוריות ואת היהדות שלנו. למורים הפנומנליים שלנו, תודה לא רק שנתתם לנו את הידע שלכם, אלא גם מסרתם אותו בדרך מרגשת ומעוררת. תודה שהייתם נרגשים ושעודדתם אותנו לשאול שאלות ולבנות קשרים מחוץ לכיתה. אפילו אם אנו לא מבינים את זה עכשיו, כל מה שלימדנו והשקענו בכיתות שלנו יוסיף לחוויות החיים שלנו בעתיד, ועל זה אנו אומרים תודה. להורים ומשפחות שלנו, תודה שהייתם לצדנו תמיד, ותודה שאתם מראים לנו אהבה ללא תנאים, ונתתם לנו מילות עידוד בזמנים קלים וגם קשים. לא היינו יכולים להגיע למקום הזה בלעדיכם. כמובן, אנחנו לא מושלמים. שבת זה יום מנוחה, אבל זה גם יום של הסתכלות כנה. לכיתה שלי שהכרתי במשך 4 השנים האחרונות, עדיין יש עבודה לעשות. עברנו כברת דרך בכיבוד הדדי, אבל זה עדיין לא מושלם. אני מעודדת את כולנו להקיף את עצמנו עם אנשים ששונים מאיתנו בעתיד, אנשים שיכולים ללמוד אותנו, ואנשים שיכולים לעזור לנו להיות סוגי היהודים שאנחנו שואפים להיות. בעוד שאנחנו לא יודעים לאן ילכו אותנו החיים, זה חינוי שאנחנו נזכור את 4 השנים האחרונות ב-SAR, והאנשים שסייפו עלינו ללמוד ולחשוב יותר. כל אחד הוא חלק של ספר הבראשית הזה. זכרו את SAR כבית שבו בינינו מערכות יחסים ונהפכנו למשפחה. אני כל כך מודה לכולכם שעשיתם את המסר שלי כאן כל כך בלתי נשכח, ומשהו שתמיד אעריך. ועל זה אני אומרת לכל אחד ואחד תודה. ואחרי הדרך הארוכה של היצירה שלנו, אני מסתכלת על כל מה שהשקענו ואני אומרת, והנה טוב מאוד. And it was all so very good. Thank you.
As you have already heard a number of times this evening, the class of 2017 is renowned for the way they express a broad range of opinions, articulately and with conviction, and for vigorous debate on all topics, politics first among them. It is fitting then that, under the direction of Ms. Katzenellenbogen and Rabbi Birnbaum, they chose as the theme for their senior presentation the preamble to the Constitution, emphasizing their individual passions and talents that, when taken together, create a more perfect union. Ladies and gentlemen, we the people.
We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union,
We,
The
people
of,
The
class, of,
2017
in, order,
to
embark,
on
the,
next
chapter, of,
our lives
do
hereby
reflect
upon,
our
years,
at SAR
and
do, acknowledge, we,
are
a
grade
with, many,
individual passions
and,
talents
that together
form, a, most,
perfect
union
we,
are
When I paint a picture
Cousins have come on home.
What's the matter?
Thinking all the time.
Could you quit all your thinking and just... Agony, misery, woe, though it's different for each.
Athletes!
Activist.
We
Have. And
We
esteem.
Thinking!
and
Acts of. We ordain that we are united
in
the values
Knowledge.
and
Experiences.
ingrained
in us during
our
Time.
At
SAR
And.
do
establish
that.
as we
Move.
into adulthood. We
Will.
continue to challenge
ourselves beyond
our comfortable
Limits.
immerse
ourselves in
the grand conversation between Torah and
The
world
And.
cherish
those
Nurtured.
us
with
Patience.
wisdom.
love
And. Kindness.
Wow, that was great. Naomi Cooper graduated SAR Academy in 2003 and our first class at the high school in 2007. She is married to Ardone Wiener, also a graduate of the first class, our first STING couple. Naomi and Ardon are the proud parents of Anael, who will be 2 years old in August. I'm delighted to introduce her to speak to the graduates.
Class of 2017. Mazal Tov, and thank you for the opportunity to speak at your graduation. It's really an honor to be here. In college, I had my first real experience with diversity. During freshman year, I lived in a room that was about 40 square feet with a Hindu girl from India and a Muslim girl from Bangladesh. Interestingly, we had similar backgrounds. We had all grown up in New York City, we were from religious homes where education was stressed, and we were curious and excited, and college was our first real experience leaving our respective bubbles. But I was far more prepared by my high school experiences for the world that awaited me. SAR has given you the tools to succeed academically. Believe me, you sat in class from 8 to 5, followed by extracurriculars, homework, and then studied for the SATs. You'll be fine in college where you have class for 10 hours a week. But most importantly, SAR has given you the foundation to approach life in a balanced and thoughtful way. The first Mishnah in Pirkei Avot establishes the Masorah, or chain, as the Torah was passed generation to generation, and then teaches 3 principles that guide how we should conduct our lives. The next Mishnah establishes the Masorah and then restates the principles a little differently. The world stands on 3 things: Torah, Avodah, and Gemilut Chasadim. Torah, work or service, and deeds of loving kindness. The subsequent Mishnayot have the same structure. The Masorah is established, and 3 guiding principles are stated, which all correspond to an underlying theme of Torah, Avodah, and Gemilut Chasadim. Masorah represents the importance of tradition. Torah, Avodah, and Gemilut Chasadim create a framework for our actions. But maybe the Mishnah is demonstrating that these principles are understood and acted upon differently amongst people, places, and generations. That's my understanding of modern Orthodoxy in a nutshell. Honor and commit to halacha and tradition, and live your modern life through these 3 guiding principles. It probably looks a little different for everyone, and it's challenging. SAR has given you the tools to analyze. The grand conversation means you know how to elicit greater meaning from the intersection of Judaism, math, science, and history. You've been taught to think critically and ask questions. You've been encouraged to understand yourself as an individual and how collectively you shape community. Now have the confidence to engage in the world that awaits you in Israel College and beyond. So, what does life look 10 years out? You might be married to that guy or girl from your class you never thought you'd marry. After experiences in Israel, college, and jobs, my closest friends are still my closest friends from high school. They live in Israel, DC, London, Boston, and more. They are soldiers, lawyers, doctors, teachers, engineers, and the list goes on. That's all to say that your opportunities are endless. Take advantage of new challenges, have an open mind, but remember who you are and the foundation that you've been fortunate enough to receive. It's not what you learn, it's who you become. This rings far more true and brilliant to me now than it did when I was in your shoes. Mazal Tov to you and your families, and B'hatzlacha.
Dr. Shinar has been our extraordinary Director of General Studies for the past 8 years. He is a consummate educator, a beloved and inspiring English teacher, an innovative leader, a trusted mentor, an impeccable dresser, and a sensitive and caring friend and colleague. Dr. Shinar and his family will be making Aliyah this summer, and he will be heading a new private, educationally progressive school in the suburbs of Tel Aviv. Dr. Shinar has been chosen by the graduates to be the faculty speaker this year, and I am delighted to introduce him.
Thank you, Avi, for that. Oh yeah, Kenny? Rabbi Birnbaum, I owe you one. Listen, if one more person tells me that the weather outside is a Modi'in winter, I'm going to actually vomit. So, thanks for all of your help. Dr. Schwartz and I have found ourselves in the midst of a serious debate this year around the veracity of the Broadway show Hamilton. Knowing history as she does, Dr. Schwartz insists that Hamilton is not necessarily historically accurate. Knowing musical theater as I do, I insist that it is. Well, Dr. Schwartz, since I'm the one standing up here, I'd like to share with you all what George Washington said to Alexander Hamilton when he decided not to run again for president. Washington sang the following. I took APUSH, so I'm pretty sure they sang everything in 1797. He said, "We're going to teach them how to say goodbye, you and I." I am so honored to have been chosen by you, the graduating class of 2017, to address you at this momentous occasion. As we have seen in that beautiful video, you are a grade that is most proud of your eclectic voices. You have learned the great value of discourse and disagreement, and it has been most serendipitous that your senior year, a year that demanded leadership from you, was also the year that provided you with a rich and often divisive political landscape. It is with you at the helm that we, your teachers, were pushed to evaluate our own perspectives, and you took every opportunity to prod underclassmen to do the same. And if you think that I'm simply talking about politics, I assure you I am not. The students before you are deeply invested in so many areas that have challenged the status quo in our school. They are passionately concerned about religion, identity, community service, gender, arts education, athletics, and even grilling meat. For this group, no issue is too small to provide them with the grist for countless hours of discussion and debate. Their conviction is remarkable. So what can I say to you this evening that will hopefully inspire you to self-reflect and challenge your assumptions, but won't cause too many hours of online angst and controversy? In thinking about this question, I'm reminded of the work of Dr. Brené Brown, research professor, who discusses the importance of vulnerability and how having the courage to be vulnerable can transform the way we live and the relationships that we have. Vulnerability, says Dr. Brown, is not knowing victory or defeat. It's understanding the necessity of both. It's engaging. It's about being all in. In Pirkei Avot, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Yud Bet, we are told, Hillel Omer, Havei mitamidav shel Aharon, Ohev shalom v'rodev shalom, Ohev et habriut u'mikarvan l'Torah. Hillel would say, be of the disciples of Aaron, love peace, pursue peace. One who loves humankind draws them closer to Torah. So what does all of this have to do with vulnerability? As you all know, I am most interested in story and character. So when I read a Mishnah like this, I want to know more. It's not hard to sell us on the notion that we should be lovers and pursuers of peace. That seems pretty obvious to me. So the real question is, how do we do that? In order to answer that, I'd like to take a look at Aaron and his personality. What does he actually do in the Chumash that makes him an Ohev Shalom, v'rodev Shalom? In last week's Parsha, Ba'alotcha, we encountered Aaron, just after all the presidents of the tribes have given gifts to the Mishkan. And Rashi tells us that Aaron is really disappointed because he and his tribe were not invited to participate in the gift-giving process. Instead, HaKadosh Baruch Hu instructs Moshe to tell Aaron that his contribution will be to go up daily and light the menorah. The question is, how is this responsibility meant to console Aaron? Aaron wanted to do one thing, God told him no, and then gave him a completely different job. I can only imagine what that would look like if Aaron was a student at SAR High School. God says no. Then the email exchanges start, followed by a couple parent meetings where God would need to defend his position on the matter before finally relenting because is this really the hill worth dying on today? But back to the point. Aaron is disappointed, and Hashem, in response, gives him the job of lighting the menorah. So why, given what we know about Aaron from Pirkei Avot, was the responsibility an apt one for him? Because we also know the menorah in the Mishkan is of the people of Israel. To this day, the base all the way to the decorative flowers on the cups. Nothing about the menorah was glued together. It was all one. It was a unified structure. The Jewish people, just like the menorah, is metaphorically carved out of one piece of gold, from the thickness of its base to the most delicate of its ornamentations. And Aaron's job is to light it and give it its ultimate purpose. That is what an Ohev Shalom, V'Rodev Shalom does. He sees the community and sees its needs and activates it as she does for the critical base. He realizes that his needs, wants, desires may not necessarily be in the interest of the community. She understands that being right is not always right. The Ohev Shalom, V'Rodev Shalom recognizes that vulnerability is not a weakness, and the uncertainty and emotional exposure we face when we put ourselves in a position of deeply listening to and supporting others, that is not optional. Over these past 4 years, you have learned to use your voices. But now, as you graduate high school and celebrate all you have accomplished, I remind you to appreciate that you have not done that alone. You have soared on the wings of your parents and teachers, and you have grown and succeeded because of the sacrifices that your friends have made to allow you to take the spotlight. Now, take a moment to own and engage in your vulnerability. Protecting yourself from being vulnerable is a measure of your fear and disconnection. Open yourself up to it and allow yourself to feel humbled by the fortune you have had to receive an education from a school like this. I know I can get a little emotional at times. I have cried in front of you, or in the case of my English classes, caused several of you to cry in front of me. That's my favorite part. I get made fun of that a lot, so that's my vulnerability. But tonight, let's agree that it's okay to cry. Tonight marks the end of a critically important, I didn't think that was going to be my cue. Tonight marks the end of a critically important time in our lives, and if we didn't cry, even just a little, I think I'd be concerned. Each of you has had a life here and a school that loves you. It's just that now it's time to look forward, to go somewhere else, even though it's extremely difficult to leave all of this behind. For all of us on this stage, myself included. Thanks. The next years will be filled with uncertainty, but they will also be filled with adventures and victories. As I said to you all on Yom Ha'atzmaut, I feel trepidation when I think about the door that I'm about to walk through. But trepidation is not a good enough reason to avoid taking the risks and challenges head on. My dear graduates, know your values and let them guide you, even through the most uncertain of times. Don't get stuck. Open your hearts to the perspectives and wisdoms of others. Don't rest on your laurels. You're graduating high school, but you are far from done. There is much, much more to learn and much, much more to grow. In his speech, Citizenship in a Republic, Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of true achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. In the years that you have been in SAR, we have encouraged you to dare greatly. Daring greatly is not about winning or losing. It's about courage. It's about being uncomfortable. It's even a little dangerous at times. But as you look back on your years here, find the times that you have dared greatly, dared to stand up even when your friends sat down. Dare to listen, empathize, and see the other side, even when you challenged your own beliefs and your intense desire to be right. Locate those moments and allow them to give you the strength necessary to go out into the world and triumph. Triumph with kindness and triumph with the Jewish values that we have taught you to live and hold so close to your hearts. I thank you for letting me be part of your journey. It has been a remarkable honor to have had you in my life. My door and my home will always be open to you. Metaphorically for some of you, practically for others. Either way, I say let's all dare greatly. Let's hold our breaths, take the leap, and look forward to the adventures that are yet to come. Thank you.
Levy Edelman. David Adler. Daniel Aronoff. David Baruch. David Bauman. Sharona Bellin. Alexandra Berger. Elitzur Bergman. Jessica Berman. Esty Billig. Jesse Blumenfeld. Kenneth Burstein. Gabriella Cantor. David Cherendoff. Gabriella Sheffitz. Lisa Chorna. Charles Daba. Ariel David. Adam Dietz. Helena Dweck. Joshua Edelstein. Bracha Eisenstadt. Warren Epstein. Ariel Fader. Sarah Frankel. Ori Feinberg. Amichai Fait. Rachel Fishman. Chani Fish-Beeler. Nicole Flammenbaum. Oliver Fetter. Solomon Freilish. Lauren Freudenstein. Abigail Freed. Hannah Gabay. Liav Garbuz. Ellie Gelfand. Devora Goldstein. Brandon Grant. Noah Green. Max Gross. Tamima Grossman. Ariel Haberman. Sophie Hecht. Ezra Herman. Ellie Hershaft. Jordana Hornblass. Paul Horowitz. Rebecca Hyman. Ariel Israel. Ariel Katz. Liana Katz. Nathaniel Katz. Rebecca Katzenstein. Raphael Kepix. Shabi Kestenbaum. Danielle Kinches. Lauren Kirschenbaum. Stephanie Kirschenbaum. Jenny Kleinman.
Emily Knopf. Jordana Kasowski. Sarah Leah Kronish. Simon Kuflick. Hannah Lafer. Aria Landes. Noah Lang. Rena Levy. Sarah Littagaster. Akiva Listman. Rachel Lubitz. Eliana Lebowski. Aliza Mackey. Erez Major. Dove Marcus. Nathaniel Marcus. Jonathan Marin. David Massaro. Benjamin May. Rebecca Meller. Samuel Myers. Aviva Michaeli. Sarah Mlatek. Joseph McGilner. Sarah Muharemi. Mariana Nyman Franks. Leah Nierenberg. Daniel Osen. Rebecca Perla. Tamara Peterman. Dahlia Planer. James Reich. Zachary Reich. Adi Ronen. Chloe Rosenfeld. Dina Rossman. Ayelet Rubenstein. Joseph Rubin. Yoni Sachs. Simi Sawson. Aliza Schneider. Shira Schneider. Esther Seligson. Ayelet Senderowitz. Allie Sherman. Amos Silvera. Yair Slasky. Noam Slamovic. Avram Summer. Hank Stein. Miriam Stern. Spencer Tropper. Henriette Whiteson. Alexander Wilds. Daniel Wasatsky. Amram Zaychik. Atira Zaychik. Ephraim Zucker. Leo Weiner. And Batya Boosbeeb. Mazal Tov to the class of 2017.
How about another hand of applause for these wonderful graduates? Please listen to these last couple of announcements. Please join us outside in front of the auditorium on Grace Plaza for a buffet reception, music, maybe even some simcha dancing to celebrate our graduates. Couple of things. On your way out, please remember to pick up your child's graduation gift in the lobby of the auditorium. 2, I have a Toyota key here, which was found in the Villa parking lot, and it will be with me here on the podium where you can claim it. There will be a minyan for Mariv in the front of the auditorium after everyone exits. Thank you, and we look forward to greeting you at the reception. And now, the graduates will leave the auditorium first.